In this presentation, you will learn about theories of network. Meaning of networks. The Cambridge Dictionary defines a network as a large system consisting of many similar parts connected to allow movement or communication between or along with the parts or between the parts and a control center. The network approach originated initially in the field of mathematical graph theory. In social sciences and psychology, networks have been used to understand human social organization. In other words, the networks term is generally used in computers. Here we will understand it from the context of human beings. We use networks in everyday life. For example, it is easy to get a job when someone recommends you when you are applying in an organization, or a friend of yours informs you that there is a vacancy in an organization and you could apply for it. In the competitive world, where the population is constantly growing, which brings more and less demand in the labor market, networking becomes important. Network models have been used to describe how ideas, opinions, information, and innovations spread through human societies. Such models provide a means to learn how information spreads. Network theory provides a quantitative framework that can be used to learn the social structure at the individual level and the large scale population. These novel quantitative variables provide a new tool in answering important questions in behavioral ecology, especially concerning the evolution of the social organization and its impact on the social structure or evolutionary process. For example, network measures can be used to compare social networks of different species or populations, making full use of the comparative approach. Use of networks to learn about diseases or viruses. In principle, the networks approach can go beyond identifying structural patterns and is also used to learn about processes within animal populations, such as disease transmission and information transfer. Finally, understanding the pattern of interactions in the network, that is, who is connected to whom, helps us to know the evolution of behavioral strategies. The social structure in a social network might explain why an individual might be more susceptible to an infectious disease. It would also help us know why the population might be vulnerable to the rapid transmission of disease. Depending upon the connections and networks, the fitness or disease of an individual could develop. Network theory can be used to understand diseases related to sexuality. Sexual networks and questions regarding who mates, how often, and with whom have been addressed in the sexually transmitted diseases. Traditional models did not consider the differences between individuals. However, with diseases, contagious viruses, etc., this approach has been taken seriously. Theories of network. Two-step flow model of communication. This theory of communication points out that interpersonal interaction has a stronger effect on shaping public opinion than mass media outlets. The two-step flow model was given in 1948 by Paul Lazarsfeld, Bernard Berelson, and Hazel Godet in the book The People's Choice, after research into voters' decision-making processes during the 1940 US presidential election. It claims that the mass media content first reaches opinion leaders, active media users who collect, interpret, and diffuse the meaning of media messages to less active media consumers. According to the authors, opinion leaders pick up information from the media, which gets passed on to the less active public members. Theory of weak ties. Weak tie theory points out that acquaintances are likely to be more influential than close friends, especially social networks. Weak tie theory began from Nick Granovetter's 1973 article, The Strength of Weak Ties, which spread information through social networks. During those days, social networking used to take place in the physical world. He further classifies interpersonal ties as strong, weak, or absent. A strong tie is someone within a close circle of family and friends. Strong ties are essentially for the real community. Still, they are typically groups with a great deal of similarity and, as such, less likely than more tenuous connections to carry new information and perspectives to their groups. Because networks of strong ties are self limiting, they can lead to what is sometimes called a filter bubble, a restriction of news, information, and ideas that results from things like search personalization and maintaining connections mostly within homogeneous groups of people. The limitation can stem from confirmation bias, which is the human tendency to seek out sources of information that support our current perspectives and beliefs. Weak tie. Social media influencers are prime examples of weak ties. Influencers today have large groups of followers, and their impact is also distributed among the networks of those followers. On the other hand, the larger social network, including numerous weak ties, is likely to challenge the tendency and support critical thinking. Absent ties are connections or people that might be expected to exist but don't participate frequently. Diffusion of innovation theory. E.M. Rogers developed the diffusion of innovation (DOI) theory in 1962. It originated in communication to explain how an idea or product gains momentum and diffuses or spreads through a specific population or social system over time. This diffusion is that people adopt a new idea, behavior, or product as part of a social system. Adoption refers to doing something new than the old behavior. The key to adoption is to perceive the idea, behavior, or product as new or innovative. It is through this that diffusion is possible. For example, Instagram Reels. A new song immediately becomes popular and a large group follows it until the novelty persists. Adopting a new idea, behavior, or product does not happen once in a social system. Rather, it is a process whereby some people are more apt to adopt the innovation. Researchers point out that people who adopt an innovation early have different characteristics than people who adopt an innovation later. When promoting innovation to a target population, it is important to understand its characteristics to help or hinder its adoption. There are five established adopter categories. While most of the general population tends to fall in the middle categories, it is still necessary to understand the target population's characteristics. When promoting an innovation, there are different strategies used to appeal to the different adopter categories. Innovators. These are people who want to be first to try the innovation. They are venturesome and interested in new ideas. These people are very willing to take risks and are often the first to develop new ideas. Early adopters. These are people who represent opinion leaders. They enjoy leadership roles and embrace change opportunities. They are already aware of the need to change and hence are very comfortable adopting new ideas. Strategies to appeal to this population include how-to manuals and information sheets on implementation. They do not need the information to convince them to change. For example, reviewers of products on YouTube with opening packaging videos. Early majority. These people are rarely leaders, but they adopt new ideas before the average person. These individuals generally need to see evidence that the innovation works before they are willing to adopt it. Strategies to appeal to this population include success stories and evidence of innovation's effectiveness. Late majority. These people are skeptical of change and will only adopt an innovation after the majority has tried it. Strategies to appeal to this population include information on how many other people have tried the innovation and have adopted it successfully. Laggards. These people are bound by tradition and very conservative. They have very skeptical of change and are the hardest group to bring on board. Strategies to appeal to this population include statistics, fear appeals, and pressure from other adopter groups. Actor network theory. Actor network theory, or ANT, is an approach used to understand the new materialism behavior with the advent of technology. It was developed in the social studies of science and technology, which began in the second half of the 20th century. ANT has increasingly been used in other areas of social inquiry too. It is a sociological theory developed by Bruno Latour, Michael Calon, and John Law. It is distinguished from other network theories because an actor network contains not merely people but objects and organizations. These are collectively referred to as actors or sometimes as actants or non human. It looks into how material plays an important role in carrying out culture across different societies. The actor network theory looks into the interaction and how both play an important role. For example, mobile now can be said to play an important role. In the future, electric cars will play an important role in transportation. In this theory, the non human is also seen as an actor, which makes this theory different from others. It is a socio technical relationship based on actor network theory. Here, the treatment of non human is seen as equal. I hope you now have a better understanding on theories of network. Thank you for watching the presentation. Do like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments about this presentation or any other topics you would like to learn more about.